And I just was so excited to see EPA, DOT, and HUD working together, rather than these silos where they might have been working at cross purposes or equal purposes but would never know. And now they're all in the same room helping us, the mayors, where the rubber meets the road. Our goal is to make Bridgeport the greenest city in New England.
Well, we met Mayor Finch when he came up here to Boston, actually, to share his Bridgeport Be Green 2020 plan. And I came to the meeting and we had a whole group of EPA staff there, a very intense meeting where I saw immediately how much EPA was interacting with Bridgeport's sustainability vision.
I think one of the lessons that I'm learning is that when we do show up together, it is greatly appreciated by state and local officials that the federal government is working together so that a local community can go and really speak to us across our different agencies in order to meet their locally set priorities.
It's been alluded to several times. This is a partnership between 3 federal agencies, the Environmental Protection Agency, Housing and Urban Development, and the Department of Transportation.
FTA has provided funding for a bus depot downtown, which serves as a transfer center for all of the buses serving the Bridgeport area. And we've also provided funding for an intermodal transfer center that serves the current train station as well as the bus system. In addition, USDOT recently provided $11 million in a Tiger grant to look at reconstructing some of the street network in downtown Bridgeport, about 4.75 miles, as well as 0.75 miles of bicycle and pedestrian access.
So this is a town hall meeting of the New York Connecticut Sustainable Communities Consortium, which is a partnership between 9 cities in Connecticut and New York, including New York City, all of Long Island, the lower Hudson Valley, and it's really the first opportunity these communities have had to come together and plan collectively for the future of the region.
So this has never been done before, that we would have a regional plan that crosses an entire area like that is really an innovation and something that we hope will generate a lot of activity. I recently attended a meeting and it was great to see several mayors there from New Haven, Norwalk, and Bridgeport, and they said rather than competing against each other, they were working together.
They gave a series of regional planning grants in 2010 and 2011, and we were lucky enough to receive a $3.5 million grant for this bi-state consortium.
So Bridgeport's project in this initiative is looking at the potential for a second train station that would catalyze economic development, convert 700 acres of former brownfields and industrial land into places where jobs and housing and taxes will be generated for generations to come.
And I think we all know what EPA's money is about. It's the first money onto a project. No one wants to touch it because it's too contaminated. So we put the money in to figure out what that problem is. Once that's figured out, other monies will follow. And we're very proud to be that first money. And I can tell you the Brownfields program has probably been in Bridgeport more than any other city in New England, and we're proud to be here.
Bridgeport, like so many cities, was left behind the sort of World War II legacy. We were in fact called the Arsenal of Democracy. And on the site we're talking about, most of the brass shell casings that the Allied troops shot came from there. But they left behind a legacy of tremendous pollution that has to be cleaned up before we can use the land.
So I've got a cluster of poverty with absolutely no services that's very difficult for people to develop on because of the pollution that's left from the industry that was there before, and no access to service, which perpetuates the poverty. I have obesity rates in those neighborhoods that are twice that of other neighborhoods, but what other food options do they have? It's a $15 cab ride to the nearest full-service grocer, or 40 minutes on a bus.
To put public transit and transit-oriented development along an entire corridor on a very underdeveloped and ready to be developed east side of Bridgeport.
The excitement at the local level is really incredible. Actually, that's been a lesson for me to learn, and I've seen that everywhere across our region. I was up in Maine and they said, you know, I work in one county and she works in another county, and we knew each other, but we never worked together. So we really are bringing together stakeholders at the local level who have respect for each other, but they haven't ever collaborated on a project.
Our great urban centers, I think, will prosper in the 21st century because we've recognized that prosperity is going to be built on clean, healthy communities.
The goal of the USDOT, EPA, and HUD partnership is really to listen to communities to help them to achieve their vision and to coordinate our investments so that we provide value to what it is they want to achieve.